Alrighty, welcome back to The Devil in Detail, the Grendel Reread podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Ben. It's our 115th episode, part 2 of Batman Grendel 2 with Batman vs. Grendel Prime. Special guest, Tony McMillan.
Hot
What up?
dog. Guy, I love the energy. I love the matching of the energies. Eli at 12. Ben, he's 6.5. That's fine. 7, maybe. I don't know.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He provides his own type of energy that
Right.
we love.
You want the
Thanks,
contrast,
guys.
of course.
Yeah. So, Tony, how's things been going? Last week you told us about a pretty amazing book. How's the workout of that going?
So it's been announced. I'm happy to say that, I got like a movie deal. I'm going to do a TV show. I'm going to do a tour around the nation. I'm kissing babies. I'm shaking hands. Maybe shaking babies, maybe kissing hands. I don't know. Things are going great. Things are big. No, things are fine. There's a little...
Attaboy.
Yeah, exactly. People are like, good job. Thanks. It's great. I'm waiting to get the jacuzzi suit. That's the big goal.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean,
Saving
that's
up.
what we all strive for. Well, sick, dude. That's coming out. Do you have a date again? Did you say it's sometime next year?
May 7th. It should be out in stores around the world. You should order it. You can actually order it right now from madcave.com.
Wow.
But you also wait to February and get it at your local comic shops or your bookstores or whatever, wherever you get your books.
Awesome.
Don't forget
All right.
the Power Up edition shortly after that, I'm sure.
I will, yes, there is that. Although I was told by my editor, just talk about that later because we're pushing the first book. I'm like, oh, cool.
Oh.
Of course, absolutely.
But he doesn't know
Saw
about the
that
first
first.
episode of this, so that's fine.
Hard
Oh,
on.
that's good. Yeah. And of course, this week here in Grendel HQ, we are elated and to have finally in our hands Devil by the Deed, the Masters Edition. This
Wow.
incredibly amazing book totally takes our original favorite book and turns it into our new favorite book. And I'm excited and enraged with glory and happiness. Ben, you're about halfway through. You psyched, dude?
Oh, I'm not even that. I'm not even at the end of like Barry's party.
Ah.
I'm just before the custody battle, so I'm not even that far in. I love seeing how it plays the hits in text and image and really expands on there. It's really is in the spirit of that book. The design is
Love it.
extra tight. The colors and all the effects are super cool. It takes that book out of the 80s and
Into today.
masters it.
Yes. Matt had said something like, oh, there's not going to be nearly as many floating red blocks and white blocks. And I was like, okay, I'm not super psyched about that, but if that's what you want to do, that's your deal. Guess what? There is as many, if not more. And I love it. I love the floating blocks. Like, it's such an artistic piece. And like every single page, there's some. It's like around every word balloon, word text box. This book is beautiful, and it takes the like Art Deco motifs that I loved so much, blows them up, makes them new, takes out some of those purples and blues I loved in like the original edition, but the black, white, and red is like where it's at right now, so we're psyched about it. All right, anyway, without any further ado, we're going to get back into Batman Grendel Volume 2, Issue 2, right after a word from this theme song.
Two in the box, ready to go. Any fast, any slow. Yeah. Vivat Grendel.
It's like the devil is my best friend. On the roads with the pen to the fork end, or till time end. Like Orion, Jupiter, my kin, bloodline private. We control the whole shit. The wolf won't beef, then we feast off the rip. Behold the devil in detail. Behold the devil in detail.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much to Manus and Zach for that amazing theme song. More news about an upcoming event with those guys and Cosmic Lion Productions in 2024. Anyway, we pick right back up with the action as Batman is crunkled and battered and broken on the ground, and Prime is holding the gun right at his head, ready to fire. Until from behind.
That's
Stop.
Glenn Minamoto.
Uh-huh.
I like this.
He's
little
not having it.
Yeah, he's threatening to delete all the access codes.
This
That'll
is cool.
take at least weeks for you
This
to
is
rewrite
smart
this.
writing because you always want to beat the hell out of your hero and look like he's going to get killed. How do you get him out of this one? This I actually buy. This guy's
Yeah.
like, wait, I know what you want. I'll Prime could probably get what he wants by force and somehow, but this guy maybe he has a chance. He
Yeah.
convinces them. He convinces me.
Prime could squeeze it out of him. But again, Prime isn't like the embodiment of pure evil with no,
Right.
Prime is built to understand and built to be, the ultimate person. So like, I guess what am I looking for? Not person, but like the ultimate like abdicator or like, yeah, exactly. And so he's like, okay, he hears this thing and he's like, all right, this guy isn't terrible. And Minimoto's like tells him his story, but then he's also like, I'm gonna do it for you, but there's one more little thing. And he's like, will you bathe Batman, clean his wounds, sew up his broken arms, reset his bones, give him a nice cleaning. But that is cool.
We talked in the very first scene about Hildy, the publishing
Oh my
editor,
God.
who we missed her, but how she and others tell their tale of being saved by Batman. And here's why Glenn sticks his neck out. He was saved by this super abstracted, like Mike Mignola Batman. Look at that knee. I love it.
Oh, it's great. Like, and that's Batman's he's probably the best silhouette in comics. You can do a lot of that stuff. Just go into it, lean into it. I mean, that's when they did that issue of that friggin' Steve Ditko did a Batman, the one issue he did on Cartoonist Kayfabe.
Oh yeah.
And you almost never see a full-on shot of Batman's like actual face. It's always obscured, it's always shadows. Ditko knew like
that's how it would be, that's how it would
Right.
truly be. Well, another thing, Ben, you pointed out, and just to draw to it again, not only were we called out in the comments, but we were called out by Matt as forgetting last week by Matt that we forgot to say that in the news shot at the beginning of this issue, it is one of the women from the first Batman, Grendel, Hildy.
Right.
Does he dock your guys' pay? What happens?
He did,
Just
yeah.
That's what happened.
That's rough, man. Right in the
Yeah,
holidays.
it's all good. But I mean,
Prime is
when you make a
charging-
mistake, you pay the price. Sorry, go ahead, Ben. Continue.
Prime's charging with the biggest gun that there ever is. I don't remember what the condition is. You already said that about the condition. So let's get back to the broken bat.
Well, I think the one further condition is that we take some time and bandage up Batman and help him live. Because now he's like, I woke up.
Condition.
Yeah. I'm in
How
shambles. My wounds have been dressed. My
How
butt
humiliating is
wiped.
that for Batman? Yeah, exactly. Like Batman, you must have give him like a little lipstick kiss on his cheek just to really just destroy his feelings. Like,
Yeah. He has a little lunch with a note on it that says, have a great day. Love, Greg and Prime.
eat your vegetables first.
So he wakes up. He's still, I love this. He's like, he's furious. He's the devil's plaything.
Yeah,
I feel like that could have been a black, white, and red story title. And so
Who
then
does
he's
Blood
noticing.
Splash remind you of? Like what other artist would do this like sort of silhouetted blood splash?
Oh,
I feel like it might be a little Kevin Eastman might get something like that. What were you thinking?
I was gonna say like Liefeld and like Deathblow Jim Lee or something.
Dang.
I mean,
That's a
there's
good
a.
call.
What do you think?
I mean, yeah, something to that effect. I was gonna say Eric Larson.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
That's the cover of Daredevil something, right? Or Deadpool.
There are-
Sorry, what? Savage Dragon.
I really came around on this book. There are so many cool Batman panels and moments that like Matt goes deep to like humanize the character in like all these different styles. And my only complaint, I have one complaint, and
You
it's
always
that
do.
it's not clear to me. I don't think he's wearing his trunks, and I
Maybe
wonder if that was a conversation, because in the other more classic ones, of course he has his trunks, but this is we're 90s guys. We do what we feel.
Is there a chance Prime took the trunks? I'll bandage his wounds, but I'm gonna really get this guy one more time. Like,
Yeah, for
let
sure.
him know what happened.
He used the trunks as a makeshift bandage.
Oh, that'd be great. We wrapped around his arm and
Oh man. Okay. So now they're like getting into some more of the like the process talk here. You know, transfer the central database, the monster's power processing software, the link. And on the next page, he's like, he's like the jig is up and the cast has been drawn. Is that a thing? Or the
Cast has
The
been
die's
die's
been
been-
cast.
die's been
been-
cast. Yeah, the cast has been drawn.
squeaky wheel gets the cheese.
Yeah, that's what I say when I do a cover for a podcast that I draw myself. Then I can say the cast has been drawn.
Farouk and Gordon are at stalemate, and it's now publicly announced that there's been multiple sightings of Prime. He's obviously related to Grendel, and people are advised to stay indoors.
Yes. I love the silhouette of Prime here too.
Just stay out of his way.
Just like, yeah, Batman will handle this. Just sequester yourself inside. And he's got computer specialist Glenn Minimoto. I say Greg earlier.
The little panel of Farouk with his hand up and on the mics is great. It's just really it just reads really well. I love the expression on his face. Love the mics everywhere. There's one mic atop him. There's like 20 below him.
Yeah.
The fist is great. It's, you know, he looks like he's a little dictator. It looks amazing.
His very fleshy lips are
Yeah.
very distinct.
Yeah. Every time we see him, he's always like in motion with bile spitting out, spitting.
Right. He's gesticulating. He's
And I love the silhouette of Prime here. It gives me like a feeling of like Jason in like one of those later movies where he's like a giant mound of like muscle and bulk and stuff. And the mask is like only a little of his face and it's just like brains everywhere.
Yeah, and there's straps and stuff. Yeah, I can totally see that.
All right. On the next page, we're back in the Batcave. And we were also saying last week, oh, do we get any Bruce? Do we get any Bruce in this? And we're like, okay, finally we get a little. Not that we like Bruce more, but Batman finally put his mask on, if you will.
And what's going to be happening here is Batman's got a plan, and the plan is this plan. He does in a lot of stories, which is going to be. I'm just going to a couple pages spoiler. He's going to build like a robotic suit, right? I get it. Your hands
got
messed
to.
up.
Yeah.
The same thing kind of happened in Batman Predator. I gotta say, this suit he makes is okay. I think the classic is always going to be Frank Miller in Dark Knight Returns. That robotic suit at the end is kind of what I measure them all against. The Batman Predator one's pretty cool because there's no eyes on it. You know, the Joe Quesada kind of Azrael suit is a robot suit. It's not great, but certain people draw it. Like when Quesada draws it, it looks cool. This is just okay. So I don't know. That's one critique. And
It's kind of like a low tech because he's like giant battery on my back. The only thing drawing me down. He's like, oh god.
No, but that's good to know. Like, hey, there's advantages here, protect your arm, but there's also disadvantages. It's really heavy and all this stuff. That's good.
Yeah, it makes it real.
Yeah.
It grounds it in the real.
I always love when the Batcave has like the costume room, but Dave Gibbons obviously does it so well in Watchmen with the owl suits.
Oh yeah.
But here it's I forgot what I was gonna say. The space of the Batcave is really cool because like it's like yes, the computer is right next to the trophies, and then this is like you have to drive up this thing to get out the hairpin turns and all that. Oh, here's what I was gonna say. Thank you. I got back to my train of thought. Every time I saw the souped up Batman tech, I was reminded of like Kenner toy lines.
Yeah.
Where he'd have an adventure in the Arctic. This is exactly what I was saying. Or in space, or you know, when Tony Stark has to have a spaceman bubble around his Iron Man head. Or whatever
You say you didn't buy Rodeo Batman? You didn't have like, you know, unemployment Batman? Like they're all good.
Those are hilarious. The
I remember,
white
like,
Batman, the yellow one.
I saw it and I checked out and I said, "Where's real Batman?"
Oh no, actually, the kid, that was the thing. I look for like, the regular one, like it's sold out, it's gone. I'm like, I don't want like Arctic Batman. Like, what are we doing?
I loved one that was maroon because I love the color maroon. So then I got a maroon Batman. I was like, this is sick. My favorite color. I didn't even care about continuity.
What was that for going undercover in the chili factory? What's
Yeah,
his
it was.
name?
Yep, the Sriracha Bandit. He had to blend
Yes.
in.
I really enjoy this big panel, this splash with the inset sequence at the bottom of him building this device, whatever it is. Because
Yeah.
at the bottom of the 4-panel sequence, there's like a screwdriver and
Oh,
little
yeah.
stripped wire and all this little hardware that fits into the background. It's very nicely designed page.
Yeah. And Alfred just fully Alfreding. Like half of his job is like, have you eaten yet, sir? You haven't eaten for days, Master Bruce.
I think
Neither
it's
is Glenn Minamoto.
I was gonna say, I
Neither
think
has
it's
Glenn.
no, Glenn gets fed from Prime. Prime's
Well,
like,
eventually. Yeah, eventually.
yeah.
What do you
He's
think he
like
went
his-
out to get? Big Belly Burger or whatever is the DC.
Ooh. What's the DC version of that?
I thought that was it. I thought that was it.
Oh, that's what they call it. Is it a bunch of
I don't
books?
know. That's
that.
from the Flash TV show.
They had Soda Pop from Superman. That's what I.
Oh,
That's what I
jeez.
remember.
Oh.
Soda Pop.
That's insane.
Oh God! All right, so yeah, we do get over to Glenn now, and after Batman and is like, "I'm almost there," and so Glenn's over here. He's clanking away. He's got his own Prime computer in this sewer getaway that Prime has concocted deep in the
Hey,
city's
it's-
stony bowels.
Steel circuitry, a hellish tinker to serve. Oh,
Oh, nice. And I love this Prime behind him. It's almost got this like Batman or Spider-Man noir feel coming up
Yeah.
behind him. But man, that's we always talk about the way Matt or the artist in Grendel will like draw just a little teeny bit to represent a lot, and that's like one of those amazing scenes. And then on the next page, God, I mean, the way he does these giant faces in the foreground, many panels. This one looks so good. And to think to put this inset long panel just on Prime's neck, it's like a strange choice, but works.
Yeah, I really liked it because it makes sense. Prime. There's plenty of. It's not a human face where you're gonna maybe obscure something that might kind of ruin the image.
Yeah.
No, what you need is right there. So there's this big blank.
That's all you
spot,
need,
Really.
yeah.
Yeah.
it breaks the 180-degree rule so gracefully. But I love the
That's
the
true.
paste up or the digital collage, not paste up, the digital collage on the screens
Yeah.
of the computer font.
He's like, dude, I'm completely changed in. This is like trying to build a jet engine with an erector set. I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer. Kind of
I
thing
wish
going
Prime
on.
was throwing Allen wrench at him, like figure it out.
Yeah. You're the genius. You know this era's tech. I'm just a future robot.
Really, really great coloring in the bottom panel on 160.
Yeah.
Oh, the blue kind of silhouette almost.
Yeah.
Leaving, yeah.
When
Talked about
the-
it before, but the '90s sewer, like this is like the best decade for sewers in pop culture. Like they're just
Yeah.
a wonderland. You can do anything down there.
He found all that tech down there too to build those machines, probably too. Though he could have brought some stuff from Wayne Tech. Anyway, so Glenn Minamoto is like, I'm gonna do this, but I need a couple hamburgers. And so Prime's like, I'm on it. That's the story. That's a page I'd like to see Prime walking into.
You give me half the book of just him figuring out what to get him food for. Like
Yeah.
how this works. Especially if he's like really like look at reviews. Like that's not people. Don't
Yeah,
like this,
no,
or-
that's
yeah.
only 3 stars. Glenn deserves at least 4 stars.
And then like, he gets the food and he leaves a bad Yelp rating. Trust me, I'm from the future. I would know. It doesn't get much better than.
He's waiting down in the sewer and he's like, Pizza Man's got 2 minutes. And the guy
It
comes in,
doesn't
he's
get
like,
much better.
124 and an eighth. Ninja Turtles.
No,
Doesn't get
come
much
on.
better than a classic suiting up
Sick.
panel with this big sick Batman icon. But
Yeah.
my favorite thing is that in order for the weapon to work, it has to be basically attached to the phone cord, which he just leads with.
Oh, the Sam Keith curly string. I love it.
Oh yeah, that's right. See, I thought he was putting like shells into that or something like, but yeah, you're right. It plugs into the battery for that huge weapon.
Yeah, it's got to be connected.
All right, Glenn's back at it. He's like 1.21 gigawatts, and he's like, it's not enough. It's a smart thing to put him on a wheelchair like that because he can still move around a little bit, but can't like really escape or get out.
Yeah, but you can't poop or pee.
That's true.
I don't think Prime's really worried about that.
No.
You know,
If he's not eating, he's not generating.
You gotta
waste.
feed them if they're gonna
No,
poop.
I think that Prime's been around a lot of people who shit themselves, and he's kind of used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also the fleshy parts of him are also kind of shitty. Oh, they're
Oh yeah.
isn't that like a thing? Yeah, like when Susan is like, there's a part where like Susan has to like take him apart to fix him up and just
Oh yeah.
removes all this necrotic flesh from the metal skeleton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. When they're
I
in,
think you
oh,
meant
yeah,
literally
yeah.
shitty. I was like they're covered in shit. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
There's no
poopy.
hole in his suit, so he just shits and it kind of goes up until it squirts out.
Yeah, it's like a fucked up
Yes.
Dune suit. Doesn't work right, like the still suit.
Goddamn. Nah, Prime is a prime human. He burns all his fecal matter for energy as well. He has a
I do
side.
too in like the yard, but it doesn't
Me
really
too,
make me any
yeah.
better.
All right, so they're working on this thing. He's building like a kind of like a
Flavor Flav, like clock-esque
exactly
dookie rope and put it on there.
yes, that's going to then cause sort of the chain reaction that the twins caused originally to send him into the future.
Real quick though, this story, Glenn has figured out time travel, or he's been basically informed how to do this. So that means if Glenn, he could continue doing this if he wanted, basically, right? Or does he need?
He's skeptical, but
Uh-huh.
the outcome of the time travel component is left vague. There's non-conclusive.
Right. They don't know
evidence
if
at
he
the
blew
end.
up or traveled.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So maybe I
And-
nuked this guy. Yeah.
But also what we know is that while it did work for Prime, it took a
Sure.
major toll on him, basically blowing off his bottom half. And so if that was a normal human, they would arrive in the future like bloodied and pulped and probably dead.
Right. That's a good point. I'll say, if we're going to the next page,
Mhm.
this is the hip hop fucking the Source like album review of Prime's new joint.
Yeah.
Like 5 mics. Like, he looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks so sick with the dog collar and the chain and then the straps around the side.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's like
He's a kinky dude.
he's like, and Glenn's still like, I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's gonna go, but like just fucking try it out.
Right.
I think that one of the backstory, like subtext bits, is that the Dr. Creech,
Mhm.
they refer to him in one panel in this book, and they call him like a techno mystic,
Yeah.
and that in the 26th century already. So if he's so fringe out there, there's stuff that like there's parts of this equation that I don't think Glenn can wrap his head around.
Yeah,
Right.
I think so too.
That makes sense.
And then perhaps even this sows the seeds for a techno mystic, kind of like sub religion that Glenn starts because he knows that there's this guy from the future. He knows this thing. And so Glenn starts this thing into process that reaches all the way thousands of years later too.
I love that if that's the case.
That sort of reminds me how, first of all, if you read this trade next to Matt's Batman Omnibus, you would just think that Grendel is Batman's best villain ever. So it reminds me with like Glenn, who's sort of like seated like this the shadow associate type guy throughout
Oh,
this
yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Like there's no other villains. Like they're all in a museum behind glass, or like, oh, there's a penguin umbrella right over there. But like Matt, or the only like villains that Matt's really dealt with are Two-Face and the Riddler.
Well, and Hugo Strange.
And Hugo
Matt's
Strange.
Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And did you see at the end of this, he was talking about how he wanted Riddler to be the main villain in the first one? Did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't
There's
see
some
that.
some post credits in the trade. here.
Really?
I like that in his seatbelt buckle. It's like the one that the kid goes in the car. So the Bat logo is like the button. Of
Oh,
the-
okay. All right.
of
We're
the
on the next
seatbelt.
page now with this killer spread where he's got his suit and he's got like it almost doesn't even look like it's a full suit. It's just kind of like an arm piece, a metal head piece, and then kind of like
The backpack.
I mean, he's got
yeah.
kind of like a proton pack situation going on where he's got
That's
like this
true.
huge, an unlicensed warhead strapped to your back, with this thing.
It
and
looks
he's
like
got-
he has like
Good.
it's on his back. It looks like Spielberg's phone from like 1979 when he had the first car phone. He's got it on his
The little
back now.
antenna. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great shot though. This is when you're like, okay, yes, please, I want to see this fight. I want to see this fight so bad. The
Yes.
showdown. I mean, it always works. You have your hero get his ass kicked round 1. You wait for round 2. You just come on. It's always
Yeah.
it's
You
great.
build it up. You
And
come
he's
back.
got the hands full and that fucking thing on his back. So his cape is just left to be in the duty water.
Oh, yeah, it surely is. I didn't see that.
He
Poor-
He tested
Alfred.
some stuff. The world's greatest detective tested it. It led to 4 places, and this is the 3rd one. I love that detail because it's always kind of just like he just shows up. How? We don't know when. Did he check a few places? Is this 2 hours later, 3 hours later, 10 minutes?
See,
But
it would have been great if he actually was like, Prime is hitting all these fast food joints. There's a pattern here.
That'd be
And,
amazing.
and Prime goes to like a drive-through, and he's like, it's like, pull around, and it's like Batman there, like a bag.
Goosh.
Yeah.
Matt
Oh my God.
will often talk about how important it is in storytelling to like really pull back and show the figure in space, and he does it with this like super high, close to the ceiling, like almost bird's eye high angle shot, and that really like helps contrast the Apocalypse Now moment that he's got.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Prime rising out of the water.
Prime, he's not like swimming like this, like, and he just peaks like the top of his head. It's almost just like he fell in the water and his body's just like a boat, and he just kind of like surfaces a little bit. Like
That's
This looks
great.
like
Fully
War Child.
vertical.
That actually
Yeah,
reminds
that's
me
true.
of
That's true.
Jason
Yeah.
Voorhees again too. The whole like,
Oh yeah.
he doesn't need to breathe. I mean, he can just come out like that.
Yeah, it's true.
Super fun. And I also love the top,
Yeah.
or actually the second panel with Batman going into the circle, the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
The way his cape is and the whole composition, it almost looks like a tapestry. The whole thing's like kind of flowing in a certain way. That reminds me of oh my God, Batman Red Rain, Kelly Jones.
Oh.
A little bit of some of the line work here, just kind of the shapes in the water.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I see it now. Those guys are buddies, old school buddies.
Of course, that's right. They're doing Dracula together. Yeah.
When
wait
you
for
mentioned composition, Tony, it reminded me that in the last issue we talked a lot about James Cameron. In this issue, it felt more like a love letter to the comics form. There's so many places where composition and energy kind of flow together, and it looks so simple, these solutions, but they're obviously like designed and worked out. I see the same thing with pieces of design work in your books. The 12th issue of Serious Creatures, the climax of that crystalline shark hanging over the water of Jack and Bobby. Wow. Wowie wow.
Oh, thanks.
On
Thanks a lot,
screen
man.
now.
No,
Pick
I
it
really
up
appreciate
now
it.
at
Yeah.
etsy.com/Tony McMillan.
I will say, just real quick, I finished my Serious Creatures 12 issues, and means a lot to me that you said that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ben.
On to
At
the
least you have
bloodshed.
one reader, Tony. You know that. Okay. Yeah, next page, Prime emerges from
So good, the shot.
so sick. So sick. And he's got his lightsaber fucking zzz, like
I want Prime to always have the spikes out. I fucking love him, the spikes. This shot reminds me of James Harvey a little bit. Or not James Harvey. Oh God, the guy does Ultra Mega and James Heron.
Oh, Heron, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, James Harvey's cool, but James Heron, like especially his stuff in like Rumble, where he does a lot of big hulking figures like this, that kind of bent over, and some of the green coloring also. But Prime just looks, and he's got the sword, but the laser's not out yet. Just like the hilt, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's so good.
Isn't it a different color in other books? Isn't it pink?
Yeah, actually, usually red or pink. Yeah.
Red. You know what he looks like in this first panel is like footage of like those like elongated mimes who played the xenomorphs, like sort of poses that they would get in as they sort of unfurl themselves,
Right.
like shake their haunches or whatever it is.
And the water coming off him is great. I mean,
So good. And he's definitely got like a swamp thingy type of stuff because, he's coming out of this like disgusting water and there's shit stuck to him. There's probably leaves and gunk everywhere.
right.
And he just lights that up. He's right behind, Batman. And Batman probably, he says the primal instinct. He probably saw just like the briefest like shine, like light reflection on something on some of his tech stuff. And he pulls up his contraption and right as and I would think that the lightsaber would cut right through the arm right there, but luckily he's got some sort of hard metal there.
Now there's like fucking Nerf stuff there, dude. That's like the hardest stuff your mom will let you play with. Like there's no way he's going to get through that.
Yeah, that's true. He's like then they're splashing away for any foolish enough to enter here, and they just and it begins here, and like you kind of see more of the costume. He's got these shoulder blades I didn't like see before.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't so much in the spread, but so he's got like football kind of armor on with a cross strap, and he's getting some chalks out of him. Batman strikes him one with the gun, third-degree burns, cracked ribs. He's gonna put some radon gas up in his face. You know, if there's any breathing in there, it's got to be something. It's gonna block it. Oof! Batman gets a huge one right there, and he's like,
Love
"Ugh."
it. Love the
Yeah.
punishment.
He's getting it,
I
man.
also love Batman. This like in my mind, he's casually listing these terrible injuries he's sustaining. Then I'll never walk again. Oh no.
Back's broken again.
Whoopsie. Yeah.
Damn.
But this
Pulp, when Prime comes after him with the lightsaber, he gets this like giant gauntlet thing on his arm. It's a good thing it wasn't the other arm. It's a good thing he
Oh,
didn't snap the phone cable,
yeah.
because otherwise Batman wouldn't be able to get off this incredible red contrasting burst out of the gun. It looks so good.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah.
Yeah, especially because everything else before is kind of the aquatic green and blue and purple,
Yeah.
and then you have the
Yeah.
red just wicks you out. Yeah.
And you see too that like one ear is broken off his metal cowl.
Oh yeah.
And he means business whenever Batman has the like piece of the helmet down across his chin and it like comes up a little bit. That's how you know it's
Is
truly.
there does he have a little fin on the top of his
He's got a little fin there,
top
maybe
of
for
his
like
head?
headbutts or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I've noticed that too. At first, I thought it was just like Wagner was just drawing a line there constantly.
Yeah.
No, that line is something. It's not just like light hitting that. That's yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
It's kind of like a ridge, maybe to add a little.
I thought he's in the sewer, so he's like, okay, for water, I can, like LL Cool J, shark head is like a shark fin. He go really fast with his head.
So Batman
Oh my
fires
God.
this
So
awesome weapon, Red, and it puts his narcissism on full display. All the attaching things all his weapons are in the shape of bats.
Yeah.
I find that charming and hilarious, and I love it. Like, I really like Joel Schumacher, and I'm all about that.
It's great.
It'd
And
be
it's
cool
kind of
once in a
like
while
the
that-
bat taser.
Yeah, it'd be cool if once in a while there was like a duck or something else. It's like, what? I can hit the duck. He's like, oh yeah, every 40 batarangs there's a duck.
That'd be great.
I love this book. Please speak.
So it just electrocutes him and sends these, all this through him enough to have him completely lose control of his lightsaber, perhaps losing that. And it's just down. It's gone now. Does Batman collect it? I can't remember if we see that or not. And so Prime just goes down, like, and
Batman
is
takes
like,
the backpack off, and the
Yeah.
bat symbol clasp is open, and then his other bat symbol
Oh,
is
yeah.
underneath.
Yeah.
I love
he
this.
takes it. It's so good. That's so good. He's got probably more than 5 bat symbols on at all times, probably.
Well, he doesn't live alone, so he doesn't want Alfred to take his clothes. So it's like writing your name on your underwear. Just make
Yeah.
sure the bat on every single there's an Alfred symbol on all Alfred shit.
It's true. That's true. All right, so good. Okay, now in a moment, Batman runs in to find Glenn Minimoto bound and gagged in his chair. He gets him and he's like, what's going on? He's like, he's good for now. I took care of him. Glenn kind of fills him in on the situation here. And then this is where we see probably my favorite panel of the book here. Prime strapped to the hood of the Batmobile.
So Road
So-
Warrior.
You gotta think that Batman knows who Glenn is. He's like a special project he's brought into Wayne Tech. Like he's like a Lucian Fox type
Right.
character. He's in that network he's in the Bat family.
Yeah. I wonder if this character shows up ever again in any other stuff or if it's
I don't know if he's in
I
the
wonder-
he's like a Woo affiliate, He's like not quite in the Tang,
Well,
but he's
you
almost
gotta
there.
suit to be in the fam. Right. But he's the Wayne Tech. He's the guy in the fringe of Wayne Tech.
Right.
the
Man,
genius.
this page is so good. Where
So
we
good.
recap on War Child.
Love it. And even a little bit of past Prime and a
Yeah.
little bit, I think that's it. And a little bit into the Devil Quest.
Well, the best part is the reveal that old woman Susan dies of old age
That's right.
after
Another
many
piece. Yes.
So
We love
I don't.
Susan.
She's not his sidekick. It's a great duet buddy. I can't wait. There's 8 issues somewhere down the road. I can't
Oh
wait.
my
for it.
god. Well, and again, it paints this picture that she was like his ultimate companion in that never again would the cyborg allow itself such intimate human contact. From now on, it would only observe. Ooh, and another thing, this fills in all this time between the end of Past Prime and the Devil Quest stuff, and also explains why he went from being just like a dude, a thick dude in a black outfit, to like this guy whose hand changes into shit and spikes coming out everywhere. In that, for the next centuries, for several centuries, he's just tinkering and building and making his body better and adding shit and turning himself into this thing, eliminating all weaknesses. Fucking sick. And then here you go, cyber mysticist, a cyber mysticist.
You said that right first time.
Yeah.
Mysticist. Yeah, I did. Mysticist. Missed assist in basketball is when you shoot the basket to help your friend and they miss it. It's a miss.
I'm writing this down. This is really good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
My favorite, my other favorite moments besides the old woman Susan is Jupiter being rescued, saying, "I knew you'd come."
Yeah.
And
this page is huge. You got the Red Devils. You got those weirdo mutants that were guarding those one vampires.
Wagner always excels at small panels, like a lot of panels on a page. He always, even if it's just one image, it's like the right image, and it's like, oh, I know what this means. This is great.
Yeah, agreed. And does it in creative ways. You know, I mean, of course, like one coming to mind first would be like Chris Ware or someone like that would do a ton. That's kind of like a completely different galaxy, but like still, I would put Matt up there with someone like that as far as creative layouts and like just doing comics different. Yeah. Sick. Well, yeah, that's an amazing page.
That's my favorite page, and now Tony's favorite sequence of pages.
100%. And I'm looking at it again, like, I fucking love it. Look at this brain in the jar. It's so cool. So I stared. It's like RoboCop 2. I love it. I mean, this could just keep going on for me. This whole sequence, I love it. So basically, sick. And what's happening here is Batman took apart Prime. Like, kind of cruel. You think about it, like, did he know that? What if he fucked up? What if he killed him? Like, does he not count because he's a cyborg to Batman? Batman isn't supposed to kill people, but he takes them completely apart. He's got Prime's brain and eyes in a giant lava lamp in the middle of the Batcave, and Batman's just staring at it, and Prime has no choice but to stare back at him, and it's great.
It's so sick. And we see like the front of his mask there in one panel. So, I'm just thinking that like there's like a skull that like then opens up, and then you kind of like put that thing, and then it like grafts to the brain. You know, it's almost like an Iron Man costume that instead of it being like a guy inside, like Tony Stark inside, it's just like a brain inside this, like, like if you were just a brain and you put like the mask, like Jim Carrey's The Mask or Dark Horse's The Mask on like just a brain, would it create a human body, a body for that brain, or would,
Right.
It's kind of like an Iron Man suit for just a brain.
Well, maybe Eli, you can use your powers of influence to make a Grendel Mask crossover happen.
Oh my God, that'd be insane.
That'd be insane. That's basically your ideal comic.
Oh my God. If I can't write the Star Trek Ninja Turtles crossover, then that would be definitely number 2.
Oh, you have a name for that? That sounds great. You have a little like subtitle?
I don't have a sub name for it, but I've got a couple different pitches.
Because like Pizza Planet could be, I know that's Toy Story, but like I feel like they could do that. They could go
Pizza
there.
Planet.
Pizza Planet. That's a good call. Yeah. You could pick up right at the end of Ninja Turtles 3, the movie, if you want, and they can use that to travel through time. Anyway, we can get to that a different one. But
yeah. Tony, this isn't your favorite sequence. That's coming up, right? That's what the hand crawling around.
No, that is, but this is like the intro.
This is the beginning of the intro.
Yeah.
This whole scene is very creative and interesting, and just a whole different look, because I just feel like this book has so many different like scenes. It's not just like, opening, climb, pinnacle. So it's just like, as far as there's so many different things happening.
Yeah, I remember when I first read this book, when they got to the fight in the sewer, I was like, are we already at the end? Is this gonna be it?
Exactly.
And I was like kind of relieved, and I was like, oh, cool. This is, and like you have to find a creative way to do it, and they do in this book. I love when you have that you got to find your scene like in Heat, Michael Mann's Heat, where the good guy and the bad guy, the two people have to sit down and somehow have a discussion, and not kill each other. You know
Right.
that all they want to do is kill each other.
Yeah.
And in this book, they say, "Oh, Batman's going to put his
Hook
brain in
his
a jar,"
brain up. Yeah.
and yeah, exactly, and that's great because
Yeah.
now Batman has some context. It's there'd be no other way for Batman to get all this information from him. Really, it would make no sense. Why would Prime talk to him about this at all?
He wouldn't elucidate, do a full dump of his
Yeah.
entire past like he did. And then he's typing at the brain, and I the animation that goes on in my head, or like when I'm looking at these things, I just see it's like the eyes that are like, they can't blink, but still somehow some emotion is like being broadcast through these eyeballs somehow. And I don't know. I didn't seek to come here. It was an accident, but we were doing something with the True Skull. And here I'm thinking that, like, well, I guess we'll get there later about the like shrapnel pieces of the True Skull that are out there as well. But it's crazy. He's telling them about his crazy contraption he built at the bottom of the page here.
You're right about the eyes, though. The panel with the eyes. I feel a bunch of emotion from this, and I don't know why exactly. It's something about it works.
Yeah.
Almost a childlike. They're so big.
Or maybe it's because Prime 2 is a character that we never see in the eyes and never have any association with any type of fear. But at this point, he's stripped to his base features, and almost the only thing he can show is like fear because his eyes are red.
Good point. He's the most vulnerable anything could ever be. I mean,
Yeah.
right? He's totally exposed.
Yeah, just brain.
These are some of my favorite Matt Wagner Batmans on this page. This close up on the left of his eyes is so 90s. Like, it's like if you told me that was by one of the Image guys, I would believe you. The two things I noticed in the text is that he's about to reference the True Skull, and then he hesitates.
Yeah,
and he stops.
He's not
so
snitch.
I thought that was really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yeah, my quest was to make contact with the soul of Hunter Rose," which is great.
Right. Which
That'll
is
give-
telling
that'll fix
us.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish Batman was like, bro.
All right, so then he calls Commissioner Gordon to try to kind of fill him in on where he is, and Gordon's like, "You took him by yourself? What the hell? That should be police property." And he's like, "What the hell? You stole evidence. You're absconding." He's like, "No, look." Oh yeah, and he's like, "I got Minimoto working on it stuff." What about the underside of these eyeballs in the last panel?
That's
Like drawn the
gross.
veins.
The veins
Right.
going into it. I find the brain and eyes, like the lidless eyes, like kind of funny. Like not an unintentional way. It's just like it can't not be funny. Like,
The next panel, they definitely have that, I think, on purpose. And they actually remind me of Mars
Yeah.
Attacks because you have the brain and then the eyes.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So when the fun little hand sequence, which are on this page with the hand in the circular panel, it looks like Michael Allred so much to me. And I love it.
Yes. Yes. It's very Madman.
Yeah, the eyes, because they can move still, so they move, and it's hilarious. Like it's this little like
and the
caper.
lightning bolt is super Allred.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. That lightning bolt makes it
That's
like
really-
that's
pop
really
art
fun.
kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
When I was looking at when the claws come out, the Spider-Man climbing hangnails come out, I was
Yeah.
like so like psyched about that. Oh, there they are.
It's so awesome because it seems like, this is when the part of the score that has like the flutes would come in, it was like, it's always like been real dark so far. And now all of a sudden there's like, it's like, or what's it when the brooms all start moving in the Fantasia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fantasia.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah, this is definitely a different director did this page. This is like, oh, Sam Raimi comes in for this one sequence. Like, here we go.
Yeah, I love the laser cannon that just grows out of the back of the hand.
Love
It's
it.
just like it can
Such-
just be whatever.
Such a good page.
I mean, if you could do this, Prime, why don't you just fucking nuke Batman while he's typing away with you? Get your hand and just like shoot him in the face. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
This
he
panel of him in bed looks like a Tim Sale drawing.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, good
Understood.
call.
The underground alarm. Someone's entered the cave. And then he gets down
No,
there. He
no
runs.
sound effect though. Isn't that? Did you find that strange? That
Oh yeah.
there's like space for a sound effect, but they do it with the panel border and telling you as he jumps out of it. Alfred tries to flog himself for this one. He's like, "Oh no!" Like,
I meant to come and check on it, Master Wayne.
yeah,
And
okay.
he's like, "Give me the Gotham Museum immediately." And then he gets dressed and goes, "Jimmy's escaped." And he's like, "God damn it. All right." And so they plan for this. They've got some stuff set up. They've got some teams. And Bruce Bruce actually, no. On the previous page, he calls someone. "It's me. Get to the Gotham Museum." And you're like, who could this be? Is it Superman? Green Arrow? I mean, Superman would have been a good call, but
Yeah, Green Arrow's like useless. But I had the same thought. I was like, who's it gonna be? I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. Superman versus Prime would be insane, but that would be a whole nother can of worms. All right, so they get it going, and then finally Bruce is like, "I got to go to the museum first," and he's like, "Actually, come here because I want you to talk." Commissioner Gordon's like, "Come here, you got to talk to Minamoto." So he gets there, and Ben, what about this Batman in here? That is an amazing one. It's basically fully silhouette on the top of 181 if you're in the trade. When it's Batman, Gordon, and Minamoto.
Look at that zigzag.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Batman in the lower right is one of my favorites, like the light, the rim lighting, all this.
Yeah,
my
I see
favorite
that.
thing on this spread is the composition of the headlights, how it sits just next to the sequence of Batman, and then the smoke rises in front of this inset sequence. It's really really well considered.
Yeah. I feel like no series breaks panel borders more than just like Grendel in all. You know, like every series does something creative with it, starting with Panders. All right, so Minamoto's telling them kind of about all this stuff. And they're kind of like thinking, oh, he's out for the worst. He's trying to, it could turn everything into a Holocaust. He's trying to burn it down and kill everyone. And it's definitely the worst possible thing that we can think of. And he's like, I mean, we can't totally be sure, but they're really going for the nuclear route here, they think. And then he's like, okay, now we found these little contraptions that he was going to use to like blow stuff up, but maybe you could use it to blow stuff up, Bats. And he's like, sickness.
He said that.
If he said that,
like the greatest Batman story I've ever read.
Yes. All right. And with that handoff, we change scenes, change locales, and we get the Gotham City PD grunts bomb squad out front of the museum. They're gearing up for what they believe to be the ultimate throwdown.
Yeah, look at the way these three jumbled panels are sort of arranged in a sequence, like one on top of the other.
Stacks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another great like a directorly move to like very filmatic to cause like. All right, and again, the use of like reds and blues here, I thought too, was just really well done. What are you giggling at, Ben?
I don't remember all this chaos. Prime just kills everyone. These guys are really brave.
He really does.
He's so touched by the bravery. Batman's pretty brave, guys.
But then he just throws up boxes and just kabooms them all to hellfire.
Honestly, why did Gordon send those guys? Just let Batman
leave it empty,
Yeah.
Show of force.
Yep. A juggernaut of destruction, unrelenting and unmerciful, until he blasts inside where the dude, I keep forgetting his name. Anybody remember from last time? Farouk, yes, Farouk. Sorry. Farouk Vino, you're right. All right, so he just comes in and he holds the True Skull up, and Prime's like, screech. And this is kind of like the show off that we want.
I love this turn. This is fun.
Yeah. He's like, here, take it. That's what you want. Take it and get out of here. And he's like, what? Why?
Well, he's like, this is the skull. This is the True Skull, and he's gonna blast him. He's very brave. Everyone in this book is so brave in the face of Prime.
That's true.
Horrible 7-foot monster.
He's like, this damnable hunk of calcium isn't worth a single life that was lost. And Prime just like pulls the gun right to his head. And this guy who's seemingly just a museum guy who organizes, who's like an archaeologist or like not an archaeologist, but he's like a
Anthropologist.
Anthropologist, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like got a gun to his head. He's like, "What? You giant robot from the future?" It's pretty great.
I think it's fun too that he's also this a kind of edgelord intellectual guy who
True.
finally grows a heart. He's like, you know what is this worth? Like this is what am I doing here?
Just take it. Take the
Yeah.
thing.
Until Batman drives his Batmobile right through the front plate glass window. Prime
Yeah.
starts firing off the rounds, plam, until he gets right up to him, and I feel like Prime jumps right in time and elbows right into the windshield, but only cracks it. So damn, that's some strong glass you got there, Bats, which we knew. Skids
a
around.
cool-
Yeah.
Love the bash sound effect of like the B and the A and the S are
Oh
all
my
kind of
god, yeah.
all over the place. It's great.
This
Oh,
is a
that's
great
so-
like double page spread with panels, right? How the way that big moment goes across the entire spread is
Oh
really
yeah, of the car
Thoughtful.
crashing in.
Oh, that bash. Tony, I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
fun.
And so Prime just runs and gets back on his old past conveyance. He loves a good motorcycle or hover cycle, that's for damn sure. So he jumps on it and rides up the stairs, gets to the roof. Batman's following him, and that's when he unfolds his spiny black wings. Yeah, he looks like such a badass in that last panel there. So
He looks
big,
like-
so much weight.
He got Danzig 1 through 4 like 10 minutes ago, and someone played him
Yeah.
at all. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's fucking do it.
Oh my god.
We're
it
going
looks
to the
so
mall. Where's the food court?
sick.
We're gonna fuck shit up."
He's got the true skull, and if he could just go back to the future right now, he'd be set. So he holds up the true skull. A beam of light comes down and starts. He begins to ascend in a blue Kirby crackle mist, and Batman just kind of gets there a little bit late. And he's like, "Ah, shit, what's happening?" And just then, who shows up? But Robin, the boy wonder. And here's something I want to say about this. Earlier, we were talking when it saw the flash of Prime's life, it talked about how, this boy and how Prime's life was built around saving this young boy and guiding him to like leadership and to become more than what he is. So now here we see that Batman has almost been tasked with quite a similar path of raising this young kid who didn't have anyone else. Parents were killed, and so now he comes to save the day, much as Jupiter might have one day.
That's a
for
cool
Prime.
parallel. I never really picked that up. That makes a lot of sense actually.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very astute.
Energy, yeah. The energy on this page with these three parallel diagonal lines from the bow, the motorcycle, and the batarang, like the energy is so high. But my favorite thing is that look, you see the motorcycle falling to the ground in that last
Oh
in
yeah,
that last bit down.
that's sick.
Drives off the building and
Yeah,
jumps.
he pulls like a Evil Knievel like jumps off the motorcycle, batarangs to the roof. Yeah, it's so sick. And Robin's just chilling there, like he's getting ready. He's set. The bow is pulled, arrow is cast, directly chunking in to the true skull, right in its center.
He knocks it out of his hands.
Yeah. To which Prime says, "The skull, the quest, the devil's quest." And right then, Batman hits that button on his chest, the one that begins the chain reaction that will send him back to the future. Robin pulls the true skull in, Batman pushes back. I love how he's just kind of like in free fall, so chill right there. He's just like kind of like you would, skydive or something, and then he thwips something. Oh, he grabs the batarang that was already hanging. Or no, sorry,
Is
wait,
it
Robin shoots it, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not. Yeah.
Looks like maybe Robin shoots it right in front of him just in time for him to grab it. And the phase shift begins with a huge energy bubble that explodes and then sucks in and implodes, I guess, and gone. It's
The
over.
composition on this page with the ropes, like as he catches the limp one and then swings.
And,
Yeah.
and,
It's like,
and the color fade on it's kind of cool. Or
yeah,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice.
that's a nice little effect. Also, love Batman. Like, there's this huge possible nuclear explosion thing, and he lifts his cape up a little bit because it's kind of bright. Like, dude, you could be fucking over right now. Like, yeah,
Love it. Feeding the phase. Dang. But and then so Batman's kind of like thinking, all right, it's over, but like what happened? The citizens are safe, but the time rift, did it occur? Did he blow up? Is he alive or is he dead? What happened? Batman and Robin will never know. We already know.
And that's the last they ever heard of Grendel.
and that's
Yeah.
and I know it's like you cannot resist it, but Robin has to do the Hamlet. You got to hold the
Yeah.
you got to hold the skull. You got to do that. Like,
sure.
You have to. Yeah. Once you get a skull in your hand, you have to put it in front of your face. And if you're a 90s kid, you say, where that is no blah, like Billy Madison style.
I do it like
Do
Schwarzenegger style from the Last Action Hero.
Ah, gotcha.
To be or not to be. He's like, not to be.
All right, and then we get the download here at the end with the news story telling us about what happened. There's some robot from the future kidnapped Glenn Minamoto, the mysterious Batman of Gotham City. Is he good? Is he bad? Minamoto says, good.
I'm glad there's a Batman.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Glenn looks like he's singing Nirvana Unplugged with like the candles behind him and shit, like long hair. It's so
Yeah.
grunge. I love it.
I like that the stock photo of Batman at the end is like the same one
From before,
for
yeah.
Right.
for the
Yeah.
beginning. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And they're like the true rib cage and leg and arms will be sent back to New York City, but the location of the true skull is unknown at this time.
Yeah, I think it says New York doesn't want them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
at the
no,
end
it's-
it's like, yeah, this just in. New York officials are now refusing to accept possession of the incomplete Hunter Rose skeleton. Dang,
Well, I think
okay,
it's
so that's left open there.
Well, then yeah, you find out where the skull goes, but not the rest of it. Yeah, so
Where the skull will be in a couple hundred years.
right there we go.
Huh.
Beautiful cover. Look at that cover, so beautiful.
4 devils, 1 hell. I think it ends up in Nolliams in this one. That's where it is.
This last Batman page, this last scene in the cave
Mhm.
is I find it really interesting and fun. A nice Batman stick the landing by bringing Robin in at the end, and it's all worth it for when he calls him chum in the last panel before the splash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that really, he really nails his intention with this character.
And he puts it next to like a big gun and like a spider piece, and it's about all we can really see. I'm afraid I can't and won't let the devil have such a do. And somewhere in hell, the soul of Hunter Rose begins to laugh.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Yep. And so it's pretty interesting that, in Grendel Tales and moving all forward, the true skull has this hole in it that's done by Robin. It's great. There's no revisionist history. Oh yeah, and in the trade, there's some stuff that goes into talking about. I think it's more talking about the Batman Hunter Rose stuff, but there's just some really cool like drawings and sketches, especially this sketch of the Riddler. I mean, that's so sick.
The one on the bottom is kind of profile, the hat, that looks great. The face, the sneer.
These are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says he was trying to get the Riddler to like the point of the maniacalness of the Joker. And then this is another thing that Matt had told us. I think when we interviewed him and Joe Matt about Batman Grendel, the first one, his original pitch was supposed to be Christine Grendel and Batman. And so here's like a trial page he did of that. And so
Neat.
I'll scan them and put them on the thing. But yeah, and so that's pretty interesting. Just some cool extra stuff in the trade. Oh,
Well, it's nice to finally have this whole trade under my belt.
right.
And to see that it actually all works together very well, and then it weaves into the Prime stuff very,
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
Hey, Grendel fan. Oh, sorry, Ben. Go ahead, please.
I was already speaking. Please, you tell.
All right, so fan question. Okay, so the Grendel show I think is still gonna find a home, and even if it doesn't, if there's a further, yeah. So if they do another adaptation in film or TV, you're not going to be able to do the Batman is the whole Hunter's. If you get to that point in the story, what do you want to replace that? Do you just simply have it? Well, when he dies, he falls to the building. Maybe he gets a hole in his head too, or do you do
Well,
something else?
I'll dovetail into what I was also thinking, which is uh of the crossovers, there's two Batman and one Shadow. Where does this one sit amongst them all? But I think that the crossovers can be done, they sort of sit apart. All you really need is Devil by the Deed, and I think Behold the Devil.
I
And
think
now
it
that-
would be
now that-
cool that if the whole is described as maybe left by this spirit leaving his body or something like that, because it could be another thing, like, you know, why was this person so mysterious that you keep saying, Ben, and that you keep positing, like, why does the True Skull mean anything? Why are people trying to get it? But because maybe it did house this like spirit, and there could be like residue, and if for a minute maybe the skull was normal, and then it like cracks and something erupts out of it or something. I don't know.
I
And
think
even
it speaks to
ambiguous
how
thing-
much they
cool.
revere Hunter. I'm sorry.
True. Yeah,
No,
exactly. They truly do revere Hunter, and I think by the end of Devil by the Deed Masters Edition, now available from Dark Horse Comics, wherever you get fine comics, I think by the end of that, you do get kind of a sense that this was more than just a normal human being, and that the effect was, I mean, this Hunter Rose was as well known on the planet. It would be like if John Lennon came out and was this killer, you know, or someone that well known, like Justin Bieber. Like, obviously, I don't like that example, but like someone that well known, everyone on the planet knows this person and has read their books and followed their career, and then all of a sudden they're like the biggest mob boss in the world.
Yeah, that's one of my
Agrees.
favorite things about Hunter Rose is like, yeah, he's this huge writer. Everyone loves his stuff. At least,
Yeah,
you know his stuff. That name, oh yeah,
everybody has read his books, best-selling books. His guy Locutus, Ben's favorite, Locutus, his media manager, and oh my god. Anyway,
My favorite thing to think about with Hunter Rose is a book, because you can't talk about what's in the books, but you can have like a book club of characters who are like obsessed with him, and they're like waiting, like the George R. R.
Right.
Martin fans are like waiting for the next book or whatever.
oh
it
that's
is.
great. Yeah,
yeah.
have they done a story where he has like an unpublished manuscript and they're trying to find that or something?
Hunter?
There's
Yeah,
in
Hunter-
Behold
like,
the Devil, there's a part where there's a part of his logs that get intentionally destroyed
mm.
Oh, that's right.
that would
And I
have
think
otherwise found their way into Devil by the Deed.
Well, and I think
Right.
that is like Hunter meeting Batman, and that is
Okay.
Hunter meeting the Shadow. Because in one of those two, there's a scene where he rips out stuff and burns it. I thought maybe it's the Shadow crossover.
What a
But-
crossover.
You said, where do I rank them, Ben, or where
Yeah.
to rank them? I
Yeah.
think the Shadow one is pretty amazing. I mean, especially because like it was a little further into Matt's maturity as a creator, and
Mhm.
also because it's truly like his baby crossing over with like his favorite character. You know, he likes
Yeah,
Batman,
it's-
and Batman's cool and all, but
It's
This-
much more restrained than this Batman book is, which is
Yeah.
this Batman book is like all over the place. Like every page is like a totally different 15-panel layout.
yeah. So I think it's probably Shadow. I don't know. It's tough to say, but it's probably the Shadow, then this one, then Grendel, Hunter Rose. But
Oh, really?
they're all great. I don't know, because I enjoy the action adventure of this one, but I like the like intrigue of the first one too.
How do you compare the two Batman Grendel books? Because I like this one, but I still prefer Hunter Rose, the first crossover. Just kind of, it was such
Yeah.
a nice realization. Oh, Grendel fits in great with Batman. Batman fits in great with Grendel. This is
Yeah,
peanut butter and chocolate. This is great. Like,
I think it's like Alien versus Aliens. You know, like Alien
yeah.
is like a thriller, intellectual thriller with some action. You know, whereas
Right.
this is just like all nonstop, just like action adventure. Yeah, you know.
yeah, totally. That makes sense.
I think that the first Batman Grendel is one of my favorite Batman comics of all time. I think as I looked at it today in my flip through, I couldn't help but think about how much more I like it than, say, Batman Year One.
Yeah.
Genuinely
it-
hurtful. No, it's fine.
I know. That's why I said it, to hurt you. I find Batman Year One like a little too seedy. It's like too real for me. I'm making fun of the bat symbol like backpack thing over a symbol, but like that is genuinely like my favorite part about it. I like that it's hammy, that it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, that's the battiness of it. That's the action adventure, the action movie, styleness of it. The aliens of it,
Right.
Oh my god. Game over, man. Game over, man.
Well, I
Is that
think
the
it's
right
time
name?
to say Velveeta Grendel.
I think it is as well. Velveeta Grendel to you, Tony. Thank you again so much for being on the cast.
Thank you both, guys. Velveeta Grendel. Appreciate it.
Yep, we'll see you next week when we'll be covering Devil by the Deed.